for the Westlake Charter School board meeting for April 9th, 2026. Board President Golick, you have the YouTubes.
Thank you. We welcome those who are watching on YouTube tonight. You can still make a public comment by emailing admin@westlakecharter.com. On the subject line, put the item to which you're commenting, and then please try to keep your comments to 250 words or less. We'll make every effort to read in your comments during the meeting. However, if by chance they're not read into the meeting, they will be given to all board members and made part of the minutes. With that, will you please take the roll?
Hope.
Here.
Sean.
Here.
Josh. Sackbeer.
Here.
Sally.
Here.
Amber.
Here.
Suzanne.
Here.
Nurali.
Here.
Katie.
Here. Thank you. That leads us to celebrations. Sally.
Here we go.
I had one, but I was like, oh, I don't want to go first again.
I have music appreciation elective right now. And John came in with his guitar the other day and just did a session and taught the kids some things, and it was such a good feeling. And then I had Felix Flores come in and DJ with the kids, and that was wild.
They were
fun.
scratching? You thought it was scratch?
Yes, the kids, like 5 of them got to go up there and scratch, and then they got to be in groups and pick a song that they wanted, and then he mixed it for them. They're like, I loved it, that it was my song.
So good. So good.
I will celebrate the career day that happened for 3rd grade and 7th grade this week. I
got your picture here somewhere. Yeah, where did it go?
3rd graders get to do some rotations, and we met with a police officer and a police dog.
There's a police dog right there.
I heard about the police dog.
Yeah.
Nice. We met a lawyer. We saw a restaurant owner. So lots of different visitors, and they were all Westlake families. So nice to see the community come out for that.
Yeah, well done. That was a great event. That was great. AW, you want to play?
I think I'll use my same that I used in governance because it's something I'm really excited about. Our kids are going to DC bright and early Sunday morning, but this year they get to lay a wreath at Arlington. And
super cool.
Yes, and I begged Roland to take pictures for us because it's one of my favorite events, and I always, when I see it, I wish our kids could do it, and our kids have the opportunity to do it this year, and I'm really excited.
Love it. Hello, Key, you trying to play?
Skipping.
Mine is a silly celebration, but I tell you, I was in my office and I heard this sound and I was like, what's that weird sound? And Keegan said, that's the phone ringing. I'm like, this never rings. Does it work? And good morning, John Ike. And the poor substitute, God bless him, in the kindergarten classroom was calling in hot lunch, didn't. Thank you. This is Mr. Cook's class. We have 16 hot lunches. I was like, okay, good for you guys. I hope you enjoy them. And they're like, no, I'm supposed to tell you. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to tell me. But I will write it down right now. Mr. Cook's class, 16 dollars. Also, I need to update attendance, they said. I said, oh, really? Oh, boy. And they said, yeah, so-and-so's gone and so-and-so's out. I'm like, got it. They said, thanks a lot, bye. Click. And they knew what they were doing. I had no idea this happened. And I was like, Mrs. Gigas? We need 16 hot lunches and 2 kids are absent. It's this one and that one. And Joe Cook says, but for me, the celebration was like this is what happens all day, every day around this place runs in thousands of ways that you don't know, even if you've worked here for 12 years. I had no idea. I'm like, oh, that's what happens when somebody's absent and you got to get a hot lunch count in. It was just such a cool, I knew exactly how many kids in Joe Cook's class ate hot lunch that day. It felt kind of good. I hope they call again.
I'm going to use my same celebration. Most of you know I haven't had an Explorer since 2020, but on Tuesday morning, my husband and I got a random text. She had just finished a presentation in an advanced organic chemistry lab, and she said, next time you're at Westlake, please let them know how prepared I am to present and how I'm always ready to go because of them. And so it's just a real testament to the program we have here and the fact that you didn't have her for high school, but you planted the seeds that she needed to feel comfortable in that environment. And so thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
And the fact that she thought to thank you. I mean, double win for mommy.
I'm going to celebrate kindergartners, I guess.
to my son's kindergarten class and volunteer, and I got a chance to work on a group of students and their speech. Actually, not all the students, actually, with sight words. And I didn't realize how exciting and special you can feel when there's a visitor in the class and they're so excited to be called out, all of them one by one, pick me, I want to be next, pick me. And then really them remembering you during campus when I do pickups and drop-offs. And I had one of them come up to me today and they're like, remember the word you taught me? I told my mom about that and about, you know, this whole story. And I was like, God, makes me want to be a teacher. I don't think I'm having a career change, but it was
Writing
like,
that down, it's in the minutes.
You know, it was very touching, and I was just like, wow, it was a really good feel-good moment.
That's cool. That's cool.
Zephyr.
I'll celebrate, even though we'll go over it, Sean will go over it. I want to celebrate the finance committee, the work that we did the last couple of weeks. We had a back-to-back meetings. Steve and John, Dr. Ike were there. It's a lot of work, and it was great conversations, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's good. Yeah, I love the celebration. That's great.
A lot of fun. I want to celebrate the lottery, even though it was a little bit ago. I have an 8th grader that's at a different school that we were hoping to get in, and her 5 friends have all now gotten in, and all the families are so excited that they're coming in as freshmen next year, and they get to all be together. And
That's
so
cool.
I'm just very thankful.
That's cool.
I will do the same celebration as in governance, but 2nd grade and the difference makers.
Yeah, I love
It's something that's been going on for years and years and years. And I remember when my kids, who are now 18 and 22, crazy to say, did that as well. I think it was George Washington and Joan of Arc, right? So just interesting to this is something that we still do, and it's one of those great things. So shout out to 2nd grade.
Sean.
I think I had a Steve Jobs. I don't remember.
I had Elizabeth Cady Stanton.
Oh yeah. I will celebrate. I don't know. I was going to use the same one I used in governance, but I think I'm going to change based on the bringing up of music. But my youngest, who gave up on piano lessons during COVID because it was really hard to have piano lessons during COVID, came up to me randomly the other day and asked if he could take up piano again. And obviously I said yes, because why would I? Yeah, but so that's kind of exciting, because our piano's just been kind of sitting there gathering dust and costing money to keep it tuned for nobody to play it. So it's nice.
Love it.
I will celebrate. We have an exchange student staying with us from Belgium, and there's about 30 students around Sacramento, and about a third of them are staying in Natomas. It's the first, I think, cohort we really had here in Natomas, and so they went to different Natomas schools in the last 2 weeks, and 3 of them came to Westlake High School, and it was just a great experience, and the students just really embraced them, and I heard students as I was picking them up going, I really want to talk to that Belgian guy. And, it was just, it's just a really cool thing for them to experience, and then that our school was so welcoming.
That's so cool.
Perfect. Are there any board comments about items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll look for public comments. Ms. Mendez, is there anyone at the high school wishing to make a public comment?
There's no one here wanting to make a comment.
Thank you. Any emails? No. Seeing none or hearing about none, we'll go ahead and move on to reports. Do you have a report from Felix?
We do.
Perfect.
Hi, Westlake Board. It's Felix Flores, your WAVE president. I just wanted to open up by saying thank you for your flexibility and understanding with these videos over the last few months. Second Thursday nights tend to be a pretty busy time for our family, with my own board commitments with other organizations outside of WAVE, as well as my wife being involved with some evening activities with her theater production. So thank you for your understanding for letting me submit these every month. But on to our updates. So the first one with WAVE basically is around strategic alignment. We had our first successful meeting last month, which I'm sure Dr. Ike will give you a little briefing on. But wanted to let you know from the WAVE side of things, we thought it was an excellent conversation, really spawned some really good talking points around the purpose of events and kind of what we can see as things we want to keep going with, as well as things we can change. Dr. Ike and I are now in the process of documenting and memorializing some of the ideas and agreements that came from that. and then coming up with action steps as the next stage. We're now kind of in on our next phase of strategic alignment, which will be around fundraising, which leads me to my second point. I had a good opportunity this month to be able to host kind of a financial overview meeting with Dr. Ike, our Chief Business Officer and Director of Operations, as well as the WAVE Leadership Board. We walked through WAVE's revenue history, operating expenses, and kind of annual commitments over the years. I felt this was really important groundwork for our April 22nd fundraising meeting. We'll have a really, I think, awesome and honest conversation about how WAVE can be best supportive of the school through our donations and fund development over time, looking into the future. This will then lead into our May strategic alignment meeting, which is more around calendaring and what we want next year to look like. We'll finalize all of these events with some type of MOU or service agreements or just a documentation to say this is what we're moving forward with, so that there's clarity and excitement around what we're doing with both Westlake and WAVE in the future. Third thing I'll bring up is just major upcoming events. So if it's not on your calendar already, I would make sure that you have April 25th, that Saturday, for International Festival from 2 to 5 p.m. We have 14 vendor booths confirmed. Our goal was 15, so we're still recruiting a little bit. We're happy with the number that we have. We still obviously are going to be pushing for volunteers this week. A late touch during spring break, and then obviously going heavy with our volunteer need moving into the week of International Festival. We figure this event will break even financially from what we're looking at right now, but this will be a really strong community gathering event for our Westlake families. The second thing I put out there for events, just Staff Appreciation Week. So May 4th through 8th, we are coordinating events along with the principals to really give some heartfelt recognition to our teacher, staff, and administration that week. And we're bringing in our Westlake families to be able to do that for our staff. And then the last thing I bring up is just quick notes. At our WAVE monthly board meeting this month, which is always last Thursday of the month, we're having our elections, which is on April 30th at the K-8 library. And then our annual commitment check, the remainder of that's going to be given to Chief Business Officer Dr. Ike tomorrow on April 10th. So I'll be able to get that to everybody. Other than that, I appreciate your time. Hopefully things are going well. I always like to end with an open invitation to reach out to me if you need to at wavewcs@gmail.com. Hopefully things are going great for you, and have a great rest of your meeting.
Okay.
Thank you. Charter Impact met. Dr. Ike can correct me if I'm wrong, but really the focus of the meeting was measurable outcomes, looking at the old strat plan and some of the goals underneath that, and a real robust discussion around how you might measure that, what tools are available for measuring that. And while it really didn't go into what the current draft strategic plan that's in the packet, it was really neat to sort of hear different viewpoints about what that measurement might look like or be of, to sort of help frame future discussions. And then homework for next time was around watching the academic report, right? Going sort of back to that white paper and the achievement gap, and continuing to monitor that. Neurali's agreed to do the development update.
Yeah, so development met, and we worked on updating kind of an internal, I guess you can call it a white paper, internal process for how we accept donations. And then we kind of moved on to really trying to streamline how we're going to go about collecting, kind of working on obtaining donations moving forward, where we can kind of have a pathway of really be able to reach out to the right individuals or organizations or businesses to really help contribute here at Westlake. And so we're kind of working on that and hoping to have a revamped plan for the upcoming school year.
Perfect, thank you. Sean in finance.
So as Satvir referenced in his celebration, and as I'm sure you saw in the packet, we had the culmination of months of work on certificated compensation, ending in 2 meetings in a row, because we just didn't feel like we were quite there with our regularly scheduled meetings, so we had a special, and so we have brought forth a proposal this evening, and it's on the packet.
Tonight at governance, we worked on, first we accepted, approved, and recommended for this board to adopt consent agenda item 7C, which is approving the certificate of amendment of the Articles of Incorporation and updating our corporate bylaws in order to stay in compliance with STRS. And then we also took time discussing both the executive director and board evaluations that we're going to be kicking off in May. So more to come on that. With that, Dr. Ike, I would kick it over to you.
All right. Well, don't mind if you do. Hi, everybody. Let's see what we got here. Sorry, Felix, I'm going to skip past you. You were awesome, though. All right, it is the month of April. Let's do a couple celebrations. We've got some strategic actions, and then we've got a short little updates, and we'll try to keep it rolling. We went to the state of Natomas this year. Had some wonderful opportunities to see local officials speaking about the state of Natomas, and you might recognize who was sitting at our table: local celebrity and Associated Student Body President. Our student president was with us, which was fantastic. Ayande had an opportunity to meet with lots of the dignitaries in the room, and it was great to introduce elected officials from the city to an elected official at our school, right? Ayande's been here for many years, and he's going to be graduating this year. We're all very proud of him. He's been accepted to some fantastic universities. As Mrs. Sanchez noted, it was our K-12 College and Career Week, and it was hopping here on the K-8 campus. Was that yesterday? Was that today? It was yesterday. Yesterday? It was yesterday. It's been a long week. Yeah, it was hopping at the K-8 campus. You can also see over here at the high school campus. So all across both campuses, talking college and career. Thanks to everybody for putting that together. Big celebration for our high school senior, Brian Ash. I don't know how many of you know Brian. He's not just a fantastic basketball player. He's a really incredible student and wonderful young man. He was nominated as an Optimist All-Star. This is like the NBA All-Stars. This is representing small schools. The small schools in Northern California. He's part of the All-Star team this year, which is cool. It's our very first basketball Optimist All-Star. We had a volleyball one, I think, last year. Was it volleyball? Was it volleyball? But yes, our first basketball All-Star for Westlake Charter High School. So couldn't have gone to a nicer kid. Really, really good kid. We just love the picture. You get in the parking lot the other day. Like, it was a bit of a problem. We were buses back to back. Fourth grade was going to Motherlode. Was it third? No, who was? What? Yeah. Yeah, but there was San Francisco. It was seventh grade. Seventh grade was going to San Francisco. Fourth grade was going to Motherlode, and it was like gangbusters out there in that parking lot. But it is the season, right? The sun is out. It is spring. It is a great time to get to a culminating, part of a unit of study and go on a field lesson. And we all know that our explorers love to explore. This is really a cool gig. If you haven't done this, and next time it comes around, maybe go see it at the high school. It's an opportunity to meet the candidates, right? So those students who are running for student council put up a little booth, and you get to walk by and talk to the candidate and see what they stand for. And it is really a cool representation of our electoral processes on both sides. Because obviously the candidates take it pretty seriously. They do a great job. They put together these really nice little booths. But you see a lot of our voters, the electorate, take it seriously and ask pointed questions. It's really kind of fun to peek over his shoulder and watch a kid interview another kid about, well, what are you going to do about the chicken nuggets in the cafeteria? It's just fantastic. Really, really cool opportunity. Anybody make it to K-12 Trivia Night? Did anybody make it? I heard it was an absolute smash. The MC allegedly was amazing. Our very own Westlake Charter High School principal, Lila McIver, just crushed it apparently at Trivia Night. So, yeah, a big shout out to everybody that made it out to Trivia Night. And, I don't know if you catch it, but this little snack bar is starting to pop up at all of our WAVE events. And we're talking with WAVE at our finance meeting this month with them, and they're finding that this is a really successful little endeavor for them because it can be easily broken down, stored, and re-popped up at the next event. So at bingo night, if you don't buy those chips, they're going to show up again at trivia night, which is a really cool opportunity. And then they're doing pizza so parents can get to the night, to the event, without having to stop for dinner. Kind of cool. And then, speaking of WAVE and Westlake, we've had the Westlake and WAVE Strategic Alignment Workshops, which we call WASA, which is really cool. We really got to come up with a great acronym for that. Yeah, we had our first one here in the library. It's a 3-part series. The first one we talked about events. What makes events important? What makes events compelling? Why should we continue doing events? What events should we never stop doing and why? And what events are okay to change and why? And we got to hear from our community, and Westlake got to share, hey, from a school perspective, this is what's important for us about events, predictability, consistency, creating tradition. And from the WAVE side of the house, they got to talk about what was important to them. And then Felix Flores, the WAVE president, and I are taking those notes and compiling kind of like a shared memo system so that in future administrations we could always say, hey, well, this is kind of what we agree events should look like. Our next strategic alignment meeting is a date that I wouldn't possibly know. Is it really? Does it say it right there? Okay, I was like, it's on the slide? How embarrassing. Yeah, yeah. You got that kind of memory. Okay. Yeah, it's in the month of May, April, June. When it comes, I'll be there for sure, and it will be around the topic of fundraising, which is kind of cool because we had this interesting conversation on events like, well, what makes a good event? Does it have anything to do with money? Is Fall Festival trying to raise money, or is Fall Festival trying to raise community? And that was a really cool conversation. So as we get to the topic of fundraising, that'll be interesting. And then as we get to the final topic, which is volunteerism, we're going to take all three of those and kind of redefine how the strategic alignment between the two organizations operates through the next strategic plan. Obviously, the middle school dance, kind of a smash hit. Speaking of WAVE president, I think Felix Flores might have been the DJ for that. Always a good time. Kids love having dances. And there's Steve Corbett was celebrating our student showcase, Difference Makers showcase. This astronaut right here is the daughter of our high school principal. I just like to shout that out because Lila presented that slide at Coffee Talk. So cool. All right, I'm going to do strategic actions, and then I have, I think, just one update. I'll try and keep it, somewhat on schedule tonight. Skating to the puck on the strategic plan. I see you two looking at each other. I'm not blind. I can see you eyeballing each other. It's going in your evaluation. That's going in your evaluation. Skating the puck, like Wayne Gretzky says, like I'm not skating to where the puck was, I'm skating to where the puck's gonna be, and I feel the same way right now about the strategic plan. We haven't passed the strategic plan, we haven't completely published the strategic plan, but if we don't get started right now on the actions for the fall, then we're gonna be behind. We're gonna be skating to try to catch up with the puck. So right now we have these 5 aspirational goals in the strategic plan and these 12 actions that we get to work on, which I'm super excited about. So we can't wait till the fall to begin to work. So I'm going to talk about 3 pieces that we're already starting to work on. Number 1, our finance committee, as you've heard, has already kind of used the feedback from the strategic plan to address compensation and benefits. I'll let you all talk about that tonight at the appropriate time. But I would like to just articulate in the action steps for the strategic plan that addresses recruitment and retention, but as well as this area around compensation and benefits. So I love that we're already starting the work that we haven't even completely published yet. This one I really like to dive deep into for just a moment because I think this topic around behavior bubbled up in family survey, in staff survey, in student survey. It's a hot topic across the nation. I kind of want to show you how we're skating to the puck on this one. What I like about this one is you can see these actions here are part of the strategic plan actions, and these are the WASC goals or WASC actions here. And really right now we have this opportunity where our K-8 and our high school leadership are really empowered to address behavior through Action 2 and WASC Goal Area 2. So both the high school and the K-8 can address behavior in their own unique way and with their own unique set of tools, but both of them kind of knocking out the same action. I'm really excited about the overlap there. And I'll dive in. One of the ways you'll see Amy Wells here taking some action right here after spring break. We're doing a middle school behavior reset, which we do often. Wells and the team tend to take opportunities after breaks to go into middle school and do a round of resets. This reset after spring break is really focused on culturally competent language, right? Racial slurs, potential hate speech, derogatory language around identity, racial identity, cultural, linguistic, LGBTQ. So it's culturally competent language. And so what happens during a behavior reset? What does that even mean? Members of the admin team visit each advisory classroom. And what's cool about this is that because it happens on the regular, it's not totally unusual for Mrs. Wells to show up at my advisory class and go, all right, here's what the topic is. It gives the team an opportunity to reset norms, behavioral expectations, and describe like logical consequences for infractions, right? And we've been doing some work around logical consequences in middle school right now, and we're feeling pretty good about it. We've been talking about like, hey, we're doing something that's working, so that feels really good. So the best part about this is that because it's an advisory class, students are in a safe environment to ask clarifying questions. We're going to be talking about culturally competent language. We're talking about racial slurs. We're talking about derogatory language. This is an opportunity to be like, hey, just so I'm clear, like me and my best friend, we sometimes say blah, blah, blah. Thank you for asking that. Let's talk about whether that does or does not meet our behavioral expectations. So really an important time, a great practice that we do these behavioral resets, but really an important opportunity to say, hey, what's the hot topic of the day? And the topic right now is a really important one, especially in our incredibly diverse community. We're going to be talking about culturally competent language and racial slurs and behavior as such. So here's your upcoming middle school schedule: April 6th, or April 6th, no, 6th grade, April 21st, 5th grade, April 22nd, 7th grade, April 23rd, and 8th grade to be.
It's now the 23rd.
Oh, it's on the 23rd as well. Thanks. Yeah, I had a little TBD when I built the slide. Any questions on that topic? Super cool.
Out of curiosity, since I'm not familiar with this, what are some other behavior reset topics that have been done in the past?
Yeah, that's a good one. Wasn't it?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I can make them up, but you're sitting right here next to me.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It depends on the time of year. So at the beginning of the year, I talk about dress code, I talk about attendance, I talk about cafeteria. It's kind of a bigger picture, and then we kind of narrow it down based on what the teachers need and what I see in referrals.
Yeah.
So second trimester, I talked a lot about play fighting and roughhousing in the quad and getting to and from class on time, and those kinds. So just kind of we tailor it based on the data that we get from one point to another.
Thanks, Rose. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, glad you're sitting to my left. I would have said all those same things, though, just so you know. We're going to dive into this piece here because this is a larger piece that the entire K-8 staff has been involved in. It's this topic of creating systems that produce positive student behavior. Like, how do you systematically produce positive student behavior? Well, if we only knew. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Our amazing Principal Block, is leading our K-8 behavior planning team right now. That team is meeting once a week to discuss planning steps. It's a pretty broad brush that we're working on here. The first thing she did was, her Rice, Kaya U, Tony Alexander's in there. I'm in that meeting. Really got an opportunity to synthesize the data, kind of looking through family survey data, looking through staff survey data, and really articulating, like reading the comments. What is it about behavior that we're trying to address? Looking at the focus group data, what is it about behavior we're trying to address? Now, the staff will know this, but that led right to this part here where we partner with the Educational Behavioral Consultant team. They're EBC. They're out of the Central Valley. Fantastic team. I mean, just like we're kind of in awe of these people. They are led by their CEO, Dr. Amanda Nicholson. She is actually has a PhD in behavioral psychology, and she actually sits on the Cal ABA board of directors. So if you got a BCBA, if you got a behavior certification in the state of California, your certification would have to be approved by that board at the state level, and she is the former president of that board, currently sits on that board. So she is a real mover in this whole California scene around behavior. So when we talked to her, initially she's like, oh yeah, my phone's ringing off the hook. Like this is the topic of the day. And we said, hey, well, what could you do? She said, well, I could come out to your school and spend multiple days on your campus, help really develop your collective understanding of what you think you're doing. Then I could observe and tell you what I'm observing and make recommendations of what you could do next. And so she brought with her a team of registered behavior technicians who were fantastic.
Yes, I saw them on campus.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. We fell for all of them. I mean, everybody's like, bring these people back. They're so cool. Because they just really get behavior at a level that, like, we get science and math and reading. They get behavior. So, they spent 3 full days on our campus doing observations. They visited over 30 classrooms. They were in cafeterias and hallways and play areas. They were in the admin building watching how admin take kids in and send kids out, and what happens when a kid needs an ice pack and 12 of them come through the door at the same time, and all the things, man. And then they did this really cool, extensive listening tour, that probably was one of the things that impressed me the most. They said, hey, we want to be in a room with teachers and be like, okay, we just watched you. Tell us what you think we saw, tell us what we missed and tell us what we should know. And they were just such great listeners. So really impressed with the team and the work that they put together. The next step is we're going to receive a report from that team. Dr. Nicholson reached out to me today. The report's due tomorrow, and she's going to meet with us on a Google Meet and kind of walk us through the findings. And then we're going to work with a team of teachers to design what comes next. And so we think we'll launch in the fall with a series of things. Sally?
I just wanted to say that we all felt so comfortable with them, and you'd think like people coming into your classroom to observe your behavior management and the behavior of your students, which is a reflection of how you've set up your classroom culture, could be a scary thing, but it honestly wasn't because of the way the school set it up for us. And then the people that walked in our rooms were just open, and they were really easy to approach and easy to talk to, and they just opened the door and said, come sit with us.
Yeah.
Tell
And
us.
they were right in the middle of the classrooms. It was great.
Yes, yes. I really appreciate that opportunity, and I'm super excited to see their recommendations.
Yeah, I was a little embarrassed. I played guitar in front of one of them in your classroom. I was like,
Epic.
what is happening right now?
She loved it. She's like, this is great.
It really has been an expression of shared leadership. I mean, Block and the team kind of initially started the work, and then we went to the staff meeting and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this. Are you cool with it? I personally did 27 classroom walks before these guys arrived so that I can kind of understand what I thought. And the staff was very like, please, John, come and watch. We went to leadership 2 times before they got here and said, is this what we're looking for? What are we trying to, what classroom should we go to? It was a really collaborative effort, so we feel really like we've linked arms and we're ready to make movement out of this work. And so we're really starting to design what the work would look like in the fall. We're currently between, steps 2 and 3 here, and we'll get that report back tomorrow. System considerations for the fall could include like specialized behavior training for all staff. It could be from a vendor, but we may interview their team because they did such a good job interacting with our staff, and now they've been with us. They might be an interesting vendor group to do the training for our staff. There's a conversation around SEL curriculum implementation with fidelity. How do you teach behavior if you're not teaching behavior? So maybe we start with a piece there. There's definitely a conversation around PBIS school-wide campaigns. Hey, how are you organizing your hallways, your cafeteria, things like that. And then the use of maybe a better data tracking system. We use the Google form, but it can be a little clunky at times. And so how do we have a better system that does more things for our staff? One thing I would say is that these guys are kind of the pros of pros, and they go lots of places and they see lots of behavior. And I don't think that they were at all surprised about the behavior that they witnessed or even that they heard about, because they're like, hey, we don't get called in unless someone's concerned about behavior. So we see behavior, and you guys have behavior. What we don't see anywhere else is that the solution is so ready, meaning we go to other schools and people are resistant. Don't come in my room, or they're not willing to collaborate, or there's not an affect in the organization of like, yeah, we're all in this together, let's go. They're like, you guys will be able to, Dr. Nichols says, I don't want to say it's going to be easy, but like, here it will be easy because you guys are all in this together. It was just so nice to hear someone speak about the culture of this place in a way that like, oh, do you have a problem? And you're all linking arms to share in the solution. So I'm looking forward to the work. I think it's timely and it's the right work to do.
Hey, Dr. Wright?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Please ask questions before I move on. Yeah, good call.
Is this our first time working with the EBC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you see this as an ongoing annual thing, or?
We definitely will need some specialized staff training going forward for tiers 1, 2, and 3 behavior. And what the real find was that they described a manner in which we should train all instructional aides, and they clearly have a well laid out way to do that, and so we very well may select them as our vendor. The only reason I don't commit to it out loud, sorry, Dr. Nicholson, if you're watching on YouTube, really is because we promised the teaching staff that like after we got the report back and we started deciding what comes next, that the teaching staff would be part of the decision making on which vendors we hire because we want it to work, you know. And it's really easy to hire the wrong vendor. These people seem like probably the right vendor, but in this case, it would be so easy for a school to be like, we're picking this vendor, and they come in and they're like, they have the wrong concepts. But yeah, they're very plausibly a group that we'll continue to work with going forward. Yeah.
Acronym PBIS.
Oh yeah, positive behavior intervention supports. Yeah, the whole premise is that like, if you create structure and you teach the structure, and the structure is very observable, then you'll automatically know if children are operating within the structure. And then if you interact positively and correct fluently, but across the whole campus. If I see a child running, not walking, I'm supposed to say, walking feet, because the structure here is that we walk, not run, and it's very observable, and I'm going to quickly correct. And if the kid runs by Sanchez and she uses the same language, that's demonstrative of an organization that's using aligned PBI structure systems. Yeah. If we all have the same language, same expectations, yeah. Any other thoughts or questions or concerns? Yeah, Suzanne?
Can I just say, I just love how proactive you guys are being to support your teachers with behavior, because as a non-classroom based school, every interview I do of teachers, they're coming out of the classroom because of behavior issues. And so I just love that you guys are being proactive and listening to your teachers and supporting them. It's awesome.
I got to tell you, when we look at the strategic plan tonight, we talk about recruitment, retention, and longevity as a big issue for us. This right here is the top of it. You want to keep teachers at this school? Let's solve the hardest problem. Yeah, for sure. Any other questions on this one? Yeah, thanks everybody. One last thing I just want to touch on, try to make it quick. It's somewhat similar though. Our kindergarten through 12th grade team has the opportunity to begin some work on imagining what comes next in special education, which we know is also one of those hot spots for teacher longevity retention. Like, hey, we're struggling with how full inclusion manifests in our school. We're struggling with behavior, and sometimes full inclusion and behavior are bumping into each other. We reached out to the behavior team, EBC, and they said, hey, we can help you on this topic too. But we also have this really interesting opportunity to work with our own El Dorado County Office of Education. Our liaison, Melanie Thomas, is working with us. But we also have an old friend who used to be our she used to work at the El Dorado SELPA. She's now with SIP, or Supporting Innovative Schools, which is a big deal grant-funded organization that only works with schools through special invitation and grant awards. But because Janelle used to be our program specialist, she says, hey, do you guys need some help? I said, yeah, Janelle, look, I'd love for you and your team to come out, observe our school for a couple days, look at our practices, help us understand what it is about our full inclusion manifestation and approach that isn't working. And I'd love to share the behavior data with you and share our internal data with you. And she said, hey, John, I'll do you one better. I'll bring Sarah, and I'll get Melanie, and I'll come out, and all three of us will work as a team. And we are grant funded, so it won't cost you a dime. And we will get at the table with Westlake Charter School, and we will sit with you until this project is done. So she's ready to get on board for the next year or three until we reimagine what comes next for special education. At the same time we're addressing behavior, we're starting to say, well, what could it look like to, look at our spectrum of services from a new and innovative lens. And so already that work is beginning. The team is coming to visit our school on May 20th and May 22nd, and we'll use that visitation data to imagine what comes next. And so I have already informed the behavior team about this team, and they're all like, well, I'd love to meet them and work with them. So the team may just meet each other and grow, and I'd love to kind of show you then what this probably looks like for the fall. In the fall, K-8 is definitively leveraging, first five and PD time to just focus on behavior. If we did nothing between today and a year from today, but really get good at that piece, everything else wins. Because you'll have increased attendance and increased attention and increased focus. So achievement works better, FCL works better. If we just did that, and that's kind of the plan for the fall. At the 9-12, they have 3 WASC action committees, and they'll use that time to address behavior through the WASC group or action group 2. So behavior will be happening on both campuses. But this K-12 special education leadership group, we like to pull a group together with our visitors and start to imagine from kind of 40,000 foot, what do we need? While we're working on behavior, boots on the ground, we'll be kind of looking at special education. So by the time behavior seems to be like resolving into like, oh, I think we're getting better, we'll be able to come in with the next phase, which is, and this is what we're doing in special education. So it's kind of a multi-year approach, but I'm kind of letting everybody know that this is the work we've started doing already. Any thoughts on that? Feel good? Yeah, you got me too. Yeah, good. We got lots to do. We won't be bored. All right, good, good. Yeah, we got work to do. Quick updates, for the board of directors, this is the end of year activities here. In April, we have CASP and LPAC. And why is, I love that. Hubba, I think you're right there. Yeah. Why does it matter? Why am I calling out? Because remember, we are all in this boardroom talking so much about this high track status target and goal. And so we'll know, based on the results from this month, how that is going. And next month, we'll be finalizing the strategic plan. You'll probably see the last version before we vote. In May, we'll be issuing agreements for teaching staff. They'll be receiving their agreements for next year. We'll be in the middle of the recruitment season, really making those hires, hoping to get out to June with all of our hires done for the fall. All this big action planning that I've just described, ton of work in May. Because by the time you get to June, everyone's like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Let's go. So May's a big month. In June, it's action packed. This week, like, clear your calendars. You got June 9th, high school graduation in the Memorial Auditorium. I hope you got your invite. June 10th, last day of school. Also June 10th is promotion, 8th grade promotion on the K-8 campus. Don't stay up too late because June 11th, end of year breakfast, and we got a board meeting that night. Where we'll be talking about LCAP and budget and strategic plan adoption. June 12th, you can sleep in. June 12th, that was for you. It's an action pack. So that's a pretty busy calendar, but like I was just riffing a little bit and thought, yes, but also there's all these sports going on, and we got Rumpus the Rainforest and Prom and International Festival and Spirit. I mean, it is like, this is what's happening every day for your principals and your teachers and all the folks here. So it is a busy, busy, busy time of year. As a board, yep, we should focus on the 40,000 foot, but in reality, this is the blood that's pumping through the veins of, the school every single day is all these things. Any questions about the updates there? Just one little Q&A section. There was a couple of questions that came out of the last board meeting. When a family declines enrollment, do we move them from the wait list or do we move them to the back of the wait list? And the answer on that is when a family declines enrollment at any grade level, they are then removed from the wait list and they would have to reapply to be added to the wait list. And so what that means is if you're looking at your wait list, all of those people are truly waiting. I was going to say waiters. They are waiting because anybody declined then comes off the wait list. And then the other question was, is attendance shifting at the high school? We said seniors, question mark. And is attendance recovery put in current year or retroactively, which are great questions. So the follow-up on that is yes, 9-12 attendance is shifting. It was at 93.43 at this time last year, and now it's at 94.89. So high school attendance, like K-8 attendance, has grown in this last year. That's really cool, including seniors, question mark. Seniors? Yeah, I know those seniors, man, it is the time. I mean, it may dip in the next week, I tell you. You can see some senioritis in the hallways right now. It's so cute. And then attendance recovery is now updated in real time. But in the beginning of the school year, there was no way in Infinite Campus to capture attendance recovery because Natomas Unified is not doing attendance recovery. We're doing attendance recovery. And so then we tried to enter it in Infinite Campus. And thank goodness for Rochelle. Oh my goodness, Cipher, Dr. Cipher, Rochelle Cipher, because she had to kind of innovate a way for it to be done for us. So now we are able to capture attendance recovery in real time. So we're all caught up to date right now, but there was a lag, like a 2-month lag going through the year, and thanks to Rochelle Cipher, it works. Any questions on that? Super duper. All right, back to you and the board.
Thank you. Before we take our consent agenda, are there any public comments?
Seeing none?
Seeing none, we have three items on consent tonight. Like I mentioned during the governance report, the committee does recommend adoption of item C. If there aren't any other questions, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
About the Chromebooks. And
Oh.
for Steve, is the Chromebooks, we have to purchase those every year? Is that an annual thing, or?
Usually an annual thing. We work with the tech team, and they have kind of a plan articulated out. So they show which ones need to get refreshed, and so they kind of have this brilliant kind of mastermind, and we'll roll these ones down, and these ones need to get kind of moved around.
Okay.
So yeah, we usually at this time of year do go out and purchase Chromebooks.
But each Chromebook's on a 5-year licensing cycle,
Yeah.
depending on when we buy it. So it looks like we buy them every year, but it's not the same ones every.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Just making sure. Yeah.
It's not a full refresh.
Yeah.
Just the only question I have.
I'll move consent.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Oh,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Sapir,
Yes?
Sally,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
Suzanne,
Yes.
Nirali,
Yes.
Katie.
Yes.
Thank you.
You crushed it.
Yeah. First try. Way to go. That brings us to item 8A, which is accept and approve the certificated compensation proposal.
We would like to recuse ourselves for this item.
Excellent.
We will recuse ourselves.
Yes, and just for the record, this is because staff inherently benefits from any adoption of an updated certificated compensation proposal, and for those reasons, both under the Brown Act as well as the Conflict of Interest Code and Government Code 1090, they are recusing themselves and leaving the room for this discussion.
We'll come get you.
Oh,
We'll
we'll
get you,
try.
Sally. Very good. We did put together a couple slides on this because it is a somewhat complex and comprehensive item. Feel free to jump in and we'll try to walk through them because assuming we've read all the materials. But first of all, thank you to the finance team for doing the work that you've done over a long period of time. We will, oops, that's the wrong slides. Let's not do those slides.
These out?
These ones, yeah, let's do just these ones. Just these ones.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, I just thought we'd look at those numbers at some point. There we go. There's the correct slides. It's good. I'll walk you through it. At some point, we'll get to that paper there, and you'll see that time when it comes by. So we'd like to just kind of walk through the topics that we're going to talk about. Based on the feedback from our focus groups, from our strategic plan surveys, and the desire of the board to really focus on recruitment, retention, longevity. The finance committee did a great job engaging in a really comprehensive process to look over compensation and benefits, which is a big deal for us. So tonight we're going to review the following things: the comparison matrix, the previous salary schedule compared to the current or the proposed salary schedule, which you have in front of you, the multi-year strategic reserve costs, how we're going to fund some of this work, the impact on cash in lieu, increased benefits investments, and other benefits investments. So quite a few topics covered under one item tonight. Let's talk about the compensation. The comparison matrix. I just kind of broke it down to a very simple version, but step 1, step 3, step 5, and averages. This is our current salary schedule, the one that we're paying on right now, but it is in comparison when you include the updates to Twin Rivers and Atomas Unified and the other school districts on our comparison matrix. So if we were to keep the same salary schedule we have right now and just rolled it forward to next year, our folks in step 1, years 1 and 8, on average, when you average it together, would be at negative 0.57. In step 3, we'd be at negative 1.61. In step 5, and again, that's the bottom right of that column, we're trying to get to that longevity piece down here in years 15 and 20. We're at negative 6.12 for an overall average for the whole comparison matrix of a negative 2.77. With the proposal you have in front of you today, those numbers change into these numbers. You'll note they all went from pink to green. It's cleverly coded. That's what that means, is they all went positive. So we're 2.5 over, basically 5 over, basically 1 over. And I believe that might be the first time in the step 5 that at the time of adoption, we were positive for that whole row average. It's a big deal. When you look at these column areas, we're talking about column 5, step 15 to 20, those are your most expensive cells. To shift them from a -6 to a +1, I mean, each percentage point on a $100,000 item is a lot more money than trying to shift a percentage point on a $60,000 item. So that is how the comparison matrix shook out. We'll go to the next element, which will be looking at this funny picture, and we'll move on. Let's look at the salary schedule. And I wanted you to have it in front of you in case you want to peek at it. The schedule on the left is the current schedule. The schedule on the right is their proposed schedule. But we want to look at entry and exit points. So if you're a class 1, step 1, we're currently 64.8, and we're moving to a 67.8. Did you update that for me? Remember today I had it both at 64, same number. Thank you for doing that. I'm like, oh, did I forget to do that? And then this is a really interesting shift here. Your top range, your column 5, step 20, was 103. And remember, we had rolled that up from the previous year, which was in the 90s, all the way up to 103. And now we're going from 103 to 117. And you can see now on that comparison, we're far more comparable. So this is a 2-year schedule adoption for this board, which was something we've done in the past once before during my tenure, but only once. So we're asking that this schedule that we adopt tonight be the same schedule for the 26-27 and the 27-28. Yes, ma'am.
Are you going to cover the banding?
Yeah, it's in the next slide. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no.
There's a reason why that step 20
really expanded. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was.
Yeah, good call.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's right here. Noticeable investments. Go ahead.
I don't think I understood the 2-year schedule, sorry.
Oh yeah. So this schedule that you see before you tonight will be the same schedule this year in 26-27 as it will the following year. So the finance team, while you should come together, analyze the comp matrix, you won't be asked to update this salary schedule until the end of year 2. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It's not retroactive.
Right. It's not retro. That's right. Because many of the districts in the neighborhood that have done a 2-year agreement have gone retro this year and go forward next year. But we had a big comp adjustment coming into this year, so we're going to go for the next 2 years on this schedule. Yeah, good question. So yes, notable investments. This is our largest investment in longevity. Most of the investment that we're making here today is in the 15 to 20 year areas, because we heard loud and clear that our staff said, hey, that's when we all have to start looking around and leave, because we can't make enough here as we get longer in years. This uncoupling of the banded rows 15 to 20, that's why we printed it out. You notice on the previous schedule it looks smaller. You're like, why is it less rows? Because you'll see in year 15 an employee used to make $96,129, and that didn't update until year 20. Which means in year 15 you made 96, in year 16 you made 96, in year 17 you made
96.
You're great students. Yeah, and now if you see year 15 makes 101, year 16 makes 104, 107, 110, 114, 117, which is, as Hope said, that's how we kind of got to ramp up to the 117. And you can stop me if you have questions or thoughts. Let's look at the projected reserve and the prior to compensation proposal reserve here. So we're projecting our reserves in 28-29 to be $11.8 million. Okay, so we're skating to the puck. In that year, we should have $11.8 million. We have this multi-year strategic reserve commitment to fund this proposal. What does that mean? We've never done this before. So the finance committee talked long and hard about this. The total investment to fund the salary and benefits package that you're looking at tonight is roughly $880,000 over 3 years. What does that mean? Where will you get $880,000? Well, our board policy for financial reserve says we have to have 6 months of operating expenses in the bank. Okay, let's skate out to the 28-29 year we're gonna be a $22 million budget, which means we'll have to have $11 million in the bank. Okay, we're sitting on 11.8. We have to have 11 out there. So you can spend that $8,000 down as strategic reserves on any strategic initiative you want. I think what I'm hearing us say is what we really want to do at this particular juncture is say, how do we keep the band together? How do we make recruitment, retention, and longevity our number one priority as a board? I hear us being willing to do something we've never done before. We're going to allocate $880,000 of the strategic reserves over 3 years toward this proposal. And the proposal estimates that the reserve requirement will continue to hold based on current projections, and finance will monitor as we go. So we think it's $400,000 in the year one, and $320,000 in year two, and $130,000 in year three. And as we tinker, we hope and project that we're going to grow out of this thing. But the budget changes every day, right? Every time somebody breaks a pencil sharpener, you're like, whoops, there's $8, right? So things cost money, and we're looking at the budget and already saying we're planning to be $880,000 under over the next 3 years if we adopt this proposal tonight. It's very aggressive on the part of the finance committee, and we appreciate the effort, but it is something we got to take seriously and think about tonight. The impact on cash and lieu.
Before we get there,
yeah.
sorry. The other thing the committee considered was I just want to acknowledge this isn't the only strategic piece of spending that the board's likely going to see as a result of the strategic plan. You saw a piece of that already tonight in the behavior work that's ongoing. So this is an important piece of salary. I just want to share that it is likely we're going to ask for some additional strategic expenditure, or other strategic expenditures will be brought to us as part of the budget for approval, but this was a piece that we felt like we had to do and set aside funds for. So I just feel like I have to be cognizant of the fact we're aware there might be other costs. We may end up needing to spend more of our reserves to get to where we need to go to be a stronger, more fit organization. But that was all taken into account as part of our 4 hours on meeting on this topic. Just this month.
That's good.
Well, and last, it was, yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to acknowledge that.
It's good. It's a picture of Amy Wells in a above ground swimming pool. I'm not sure why, but I think it was hilarious. Impact on.
You seemed very happy in that pool, Wells.
We were launching rockets off the.
We were. I was talking about impact on cash in lieu in this particular juncture. You know, cash in lieu is a $600,000 expenditure annually. So we just said we're going to fund this big compensation and benefits package for an $880,000 investment over a 3-year period. Cash in lieu is a $600,000 investment every year right now. And so I think 20 years ago when we came up with cash in lieu, it made a lot of sense. I think right now it isn't something you can just take away, because people have car payments and house payments and lives, and this is the cash they expect to make those payments. So we're not in a position to be able to turn off cash in lieu, recoup that $600,000, and put it into salary and benefits. We just can't see that being a possibility. However, the proposal does include sunsetting cash in lieu for future hires. What does that mean? Well, it means that the people who have cash in lieu right now at this organization can hold on to their cash in lieu for $8,100 a year and keep that cash in lieu until the day they retire. That's fine. Or keep the cash in lieu. And over these next 5 years and 10 years, you'll hire people, and as you hire them, you'll have all these employees who don't have cash in lieu. And what might that do over the next 5 to 10 years? That might free up some resources to be allocated toward cash and compensation and benefits going forward. So I think what I keep telling myself is, if I had made this move 10 years ago, when I think the finance team, we've talked about this every year. If we had made this move 10 years ago, today we might have $350,000 or $500,000 more that we can allocate toward benefits and compensation. So 10 years from now, when I'm 35, I will thank myself. I'm not going to be 35, I'll be 65.
Sorry. And just to be clear, when we sunset, it's staff who have the cash in lieu as of today, correct?
Yeah, so staff will have the opportunity between now and open enrollment to determine if they would like to be cash in lieu for the current employees. So if you are a current employee right now who takes benefits, but you realize that, okay, it's now or never, and you can figure out a way to switch to cash in lieu, you can switch to cash in lieu right now before the end of open enrollment. But at the end of open enrollment, we will sunset cash in lieu. Those who have it, keep it, and future employees, including those who are being hired now, won't have an opportunity to get it. So if you're in the interview process right now and get hired for next year, you're starting after July 1, at which point cash in lieu will have already sunset. Does that make sense? Very good. Okay, so investments in benefits then. Our benefits contributions for benefit eligible staff will increase from $8,100 to $12,000 annually. So cash in lieu will remain $8,100, but benefited employees who take the benefit will get $12,000. It's $4,000 extra allocation. Yeah, up to, because there's no you don't get cash back on. Yeah, right. So it's up to $12,000. That $12,000 comfortably provides medical, dental, and vision for a single employee on multiple different plans at this particular juncture. We won't know that'll be true forever, but right now it does. And it also obviously adds the extra $4,000 or $1,300 toward your family benefit or employee plus one. So we have an increase in benefit allocation. At the same time, we're sunsetting cash in lieu for those who are new to the organization. Just as we kind of pointed out, this is the first change in contribution since 2005. And it's not because this organization doesn't want to help its employees. It's not because the organization isn't willing to make the investment. It's because it's really complex to talk about benefits, because a salary schedule is easy to compare. Top number, bottom number, it's easy to compare. Benefits packages are different at your organization, even your Kaiser plans are very different. So, so we can compare contributions. It's hard to compare plans. The other thing is, it is incredibly complex for this finance team to talk benefits, because this place has cash in lieu. In that, we are the only school that you will be able to find that has a full $8,100 cash in lieu contribution, and it has hamstrung this team for the last decade to be able to maneuver through the complexities of this. So, while it's going to be challenging to say, hey, we're not doing cash in lieu for the new people, and that will be complex. A decade from now, I think we'll all look at our nimble and flexible opportunity to give more to the people who need it, because we'll have made that decision should we decide to do it tonight. Kudos to the finance team. They've been working on this for a long time.
I mean, I don't know if you have a slide on it. I mean, we looked at so many different options for this, right? Do we do a tiered structure for plus one, plus family? Do we not?
Your microphone's on.
Oh, sorry.
You're okay.
Sorry, that was off. So I just want to share that. It wasn't like we didn't look at just one option, right? We really have been looking at this for a number of years, and in the end decided to go with a plan that funded for the employee full coverage under a number of options. While it would be great to fund it for all the options or to do a tiered structure, it got to be more and more complicated. So we tried to bring it. We had to balance it a bit. We had to balance it.
That's good. Any questions on that?
Did I capture that right? No, Sean. Yeah.
When you guys evaluated, more of a question because I'm not sure, changing the benefits and then also compensation, looking at the current environment and those that are, how they're enrolling, who's doing cash in lieu versus those that aren't, and was that taken into consideration when making these determinations?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Sean, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've looked at it every year and kind of come up to it and then kind of backed off it. I think Dr. Reich alluded to, or possibly just straight up said that it's hard to find anyone who offers cash in lieu at all, and if they do, it's and usually grandfathered in for people and they're not actually doing it. So yeah.
And yeah, look, they looked every year at the number of people who took cash in lieu versus the number that did not, and then really broke down the number who take benefits and the number of single employee benefits versus employee plus one versus family benefits. And these guys talked long and hard. At one point, there was this tiered approach, but there were very thoughtful conversations. I'm not kidding. It's a very impressive dialogue over a long period of time. So good job, you guys.
And we definitely consider the tiers because if you've followed local issues, you've seen a lot of benefits adjustments based on that tier system. But in the end, we had to decide what would be best for Westlake, and so that was one of the areas where we stuck to what we've always done. So this is an increase in the amount of benefits we've provided, and that's really all we're touching here. Well, we're sunsetting cash in lieu, but the only other thing we're doing is increasing the annual allotment for benefits.
It's good. Maybe you didn't see these ones coming, but we're pretty excited about them. We're increasing the hourly rate for certificated staff who do work outside of the regular working day. Come in on summertime doing prep work, things like that. We used to do $20 an hour when you're not working with students, and that's moving to $30 an hour. And when you're working with students, it used to be $40 an hour, and that's moving to $60 an hour. So it's kind of it's not nothing. But this one I think I'm most interested in. It's just something that we've talked about and something we recognize as a community that really loves our community. You stay here long enough and you see people go through the best times of their life, children being born, people bringing their kids to school, and people losing family members, loved ones in hard times, sickness and illness. And we've often thought, gosh, I wish we had a catastrophic leave bank. And so we are asking the board to authorize us to move in this direction. We're going to create a catastrophic leave bank. Westlake Charter School, if you so authorize, will seed the catastrophic leave bank with a number of leave days, and then any employee who wants to then contribute a leave day, it will then be part of the catastrophic leave bank, and it will build in leave days until somebody requires that, and then we'll set up a committee who will then determine if a person can be granted extended leave through the bank. And for people who don't have disability insurance, maybe going through a particular treatment, they exhaust all of their sick leave, and all of a sudden they have no means by which to recoup days. This is a way we can say to our community, hey, we can help each other through hard times by all of us contributing 1 day per year into this tank. But if you ever need it, it's there for you. So kind of a cool thing. Any questions on that? Awesome. Yeah, it's good. Okay, that is kind of an overview of the topic. If there aren't any other questions, thoughts, or concerns?
I have one question.
Please.
On the brief. I didn't quite understand two other percentage things that were mentioned, but they weren't listed. Prior to making any recommendations, the similar school matrix showed blah, blah, blah on average, and then it had those.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure I understand the relation of those two.
Yeah, let me go.
The numbers you presented make sense with the first two bullet points. I just didn't quite.
It's digested in a different way.
Yeah. Okay, that's maybe what it is, and I
Yeah.
wasn't quite following.
So there are two matrices that we utilize. This is our geographic matrices. The more this is a harder matrices to meet.
Much harder.
This matrix is. I wish I had the image, but it is a grid of 9 schools and districts. So I'll take you through our locals. Right, we used to have Natomas Charter, but they went to a weird things. We took them out. We have Natomas Unified, NP3. Then you go out to Woodland. You go down to Elk Grove. Then you go down to Delta Charter School, Twin Rivers. You go to Rockland, and what you do is all of those districts across the top row, we say step 1, because everyone has a step 1. Everyone has the first year of entry. Step 1, year 1 and year 8. How does our year 1 and year 8 compare to everyone else's year 1 and year 8? And you come up with these averages. So on average, when we compare those 9 districts, we're a -1. And now with the proposal, we'll be a positive 2.44. Now, you're referring to this is our geographic matrix. We use the geographic matrix because we kind of believe in reality, these are the people we're going to compare it to, because everybody goes, well, my friend works right there. The thing is that we don't compare very well financially to Natomas, Twin Rivers, Elk Grove, Woodland, because these are big shops with big Title I dollars. I mean, we make 16% less per pupil than Natomas Unified. We'll take 16% and times it by the 1,000 kids we have here. I mean, they have so much more money for compensation and benefits than we do. We shouldn't compare to them. But 10 years ago, we put them all on a chart. We just never took them out. About 8 years ago, though, we said, well, let's create a similar schools matrix. Other people that are funded like us. So we were K-8 on that matrices. We updated to K-12 when we became a K-12. And I didn't put the numbers up here, but I'll tell you, on this particular column right here, we were a -1 here, but in the brief, what does it say? Oh, what was it? It probably said the overall.
Row was always green on the similar
Right.
schools.
Yeah. So in the geographic matrix, we're a -3. No, geographic here, we're -277, so I was rounding up. We're a -3, but on the similar schools matrix, we're a +3. We always crush the similar schools matrix because here we are chasing after the Joneses next door, but we don't look like them. We look more like these similar schools, but we outperform the similar schools. So in reality, if you're going to leave this school and go to another school that looks like this school, you'd make less money. If you left this school and went to a school that looked not like us, from our programs and practices, the way we spend money, the number of instructional aides we have, and, the amount of dollars we get, you make more money somewhere else according to this. So yeah, now we're a +2.71 on the geographic and a +8 on the similar schools. Does that make sense?
Perfect clarification.
I forgot, we talk about this in finance all the time, but it's not always at the board level we talk about it as fluently.
And I think just another piece on that, Nora, sorry, I can't help myself. In the terms of years of service, like, we've committed, like, the reason, like, step 1 is only 1 in 8 is because this organization really wants to encourage our staff members to move across steps, not just move down. And so that's part of the reason why, so it's strategic, right? In the 1 in 8, and hopefully by 8 they've moved to 3 or 5, right? Like, so that's part of the reason why it's cool. We spent a lot of time talking about this and where and how to adjust the schedule to make sure we are getting at both recruit and retain.
That's good.
I think we had that conversation maybe 2 years ago. I remember having a step
Totally.
conversation. So that
I think this is the first time we've condensed it in this fashion though, so I just wanted to sort of share that what we had talked about at finance.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
I think we normally show the full color matrix and everything, but it was a lot. It would have been a lot of things, and
It's
so
a lot.
yeah, it was a little more condensed.
This was helpful. Awesome job.
That's good. Any other questions, thoughts, or concerns? If not,
Okay, before that, just hold off.
Oh.
Are there any public comments? So I just want to make sure I am by the book tonight. Not that I'm not every night, but like I'm being cognizant tonight. Perfect. So if there were a motion,
I will move the certificated compensation proposal.
and I'll second. Sorry, Seth.
So,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Saphir,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
Suzanne,
Yes.
Nurali.
Yes.
Steve, would you mind grabbing them?
oh, she
John's
hasn't
texting,
texted.
but this just, we promised we'd get them, so let's do both. Something, yeah. Or it's past bedtimes and, which is my more common. Though my watch can't figure it out now.
Consent agenda. Action.
You should buy your guitar, you could have played on the,
On the YouTubes, man, I could be a YouTube superstar playing the guitar.
I mean,
It was super fun to play the guitar in Mrs. Hubbard's classroom, but it was funny that the behavioral observation person was there. I was like, hello, yes, we do this all the time. This is like a daily. was hilarious.
It does help me understand why you had your guitar so ready, though, to play after a finance meeting
I was
last
ready.
week. Like, I feel like it
Well,
all makes sense now.
I keep an office guitar, it's kind of a clunker, but I brought out my good guitar for Sally's class, and then now that it's in my office, I just want to play all the time. I'm like, oh, let's jam the guitar. So
It's
good.
just your fidget tool.
It's totally a fidget tool, man. It's totally. Except the walls are a little thin. Melissa Grunholz is like, keep it down over there. It's good. Hi, Hubba. All right, you have the.
She's waiting for
Oh, there's Sanchez right there.
Yeah.
Doop.
Okay. With that, we will move to our discussion item for tonight, which is the strategic plan discussion.
Yeah, so I brought in paper copies just in case you wanted to like flip back and forth or highlight, scribble, or take a look. So let's grab those. I guess I could have handed those out. And I will bring up the slides. I'm a little out of order.
I'm currently doing a button sticker campaign for this document.
I think the stickers is a great idea,
I'm
Hope.
harassing John a little bit too much about my plans, but that's okay.
So funny.
He can handle it.
You've all seen this document. You saw it digitally. I don't know if you got a chance to print it out. I think it is far from being laid out in its final version. We're certainly not talking layout, final look. But I have had already some discussions with some board members in one-on-one conversations around like what belongs where. Do we need things moved to different pages? I want to kind of, from a high level, just walk through the components on one of these goal pages and identify critical elements that we're going to be speaking about tonight, and I will try not to go long. If you don't have much to bring back, I won't mind for it, but I want to lay out what I think we're going to talk about, and that is, I think that goals, beliefs, values, commitments, and outcomes, everything on one of these goal pages, very purposefully stands alone and separate from actions and measurements. And here's why I think. I think the reader should interact with these components as these visionary, inspirational, desired state, these expressions of our mission and vision. This is the board's opportunity to set the desired state on this page. It's creating organizational direction by describing the desired state and the outcomes that will kind of tell us if we arrived at that desired state. But it's not quantitative in nature. It's not saying we will have 90% attend. It's not that. It's saying we will have inspiring amounts of teacher retention. You're like, inspiring? What the heck does that mean? Well, then you go look at measurements. Yeah. Oh, the measurements measure, the outcomes describe. And so I was talking with one board member, and they said, this page is kind of evergreen. Like you theoretically could keep these goals, beliefs, values, commitments, and outcomes as your next strategic plan and just change the measurements and change the actions. So I just want to think of it in that way. Now, I don't know that it will work that way, but these are expressions of why we do what we do. Okay, we're going to come back to this. I'm going to ask you, is there anything, from that lens, is there anything missing or anything that needs to be particularly edited to these goals, beliefs? The second critical element I want to talk about is these measurements and why they're kind of separate. If the goals, beliefs, values, commitments, and outcomes are these inspirational, visionary, desired state, future reality, the where we're skating to in the future, then the measurements are what keep us on track. They're these regular reports that measure the status of our outcomes. So I think it's the opportunity to track over time. I want us to imagine them like a dashboard. So the outcomes aren't SMART goals. We'll have 90% of our teachers retained. We're saying we'll have an inspiring amount of retention. What does that mean? Well, we won't know until we see it and go, oh, that looks good. So imagine it like metric for retention. This year we had 87% retention. Doesn't really mean anything. Next year we had 91%. We're like, oh, now I'm starting to see the data tell a data story over a multitude of years. What's important is whatever we decide to measure in this particular manner, that we measure it regularly and consistently. You can't take 3 years off and go, oh yeah, we forgot to measure. because then it won't tell the data story. As I think if we do it in a kind of dashboard format like this, what happens is we as a board then start to recognize, hey, we're kind of dipping in this one metric. I wonder what's going on there. Can we go look at the actions we're doing and see it may be that we haven't got to that part yet, right? It may be that we're watching data dip in an area and we're like, yeah, we're going to address that in year 3 when we get to that action that really addresses that, right? Because you can do anything you want. You can't do everything you want, and you certainly can't do everything at once. So that's how I want you to kind of consider the measurements. Data will just help us decide what to do next. And this last piece is the actions themselves. So these are really activities the school, that will lead the school from its current reality to its desired state. Where are we right now? How will we get to where we want to be? We'll engage in these actions. I think the outcomes will improve. I think the goals will be manifest and realized when we work through these activities or these actions. I want you as a board, though, to think about these as plans or activities that are approved by the board, but work that's done by staff. You're saying, yes, go work on behavior. I don't know how you will do that. Report back and tell us how it's going, right? Yes, I want you to grow academic growth. Tell us how it's going. So with all of that in mind, I just wanted to start the review. Here's a critical elements review. Are there missing ideas or ideas that need clarification around this set of things? And we'll start here. Let's talk the goals, beliefs and values, commitments and outcomes. Are there ideas that are missing? I'll give you one that's missing. Someone said, don't we kind of have a commitment around field lessons? And I was like, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's kind of like, we definitely have a feeling about, there's an expression of our academic program that is about field lessons. So we might add one of our commitments. So there's something missing there. Or an idea that needs clarification. You're like, I don't get this one goal. Tell me about that. Is there anything you brought in around this set of ideas, goals, beliefs, values, commitments, and outcomes? Any thoughts? Yeah, Sally.
I was a little unclear. I loved the beginning part because it was the story.
Yeah, the story, totally.
Oh my gosh. And there was a part in there that was like, let's not go full force innovation, but let's get good at what we're good at. Mm-hmm. But then in some of the language here, it was innovative, inspiring.
Yeah.
Pretty dreamy or
yeah.
aspirational.
Yeah, I think that preamble dialogue definitely speaks to like we're not taking a victory lap and like going off into this innovative new things. We're trying to like be responsive to the voices of the people who are saying, hey, you need to fix behavior. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's what it's trying to say. I think that part is speaking to actions, but goals are speaking to who we are in our best version of ourselves. The goals, the values, the commitments, the outcomes, that's us in our desired state. Mm-hmm. These are visionary. Those are our visionary, self-realized place. But the actions are like, yeah, we got to boil water before we cook a 7-course meal. Mm-hmm. So let's get back to boiling water because we just grew a high school and we're a little bit like, we came out of a pandemic. And so I think that's the misalignment there. But I wonder, for a note, I always say that too, sorry. But I wonder if there's like in that paragraph where I'm like, where we're riffing on, we got to get back to basics. I wonder if we acknowledge that we're talking about the actions and activities, but yet we still hold these aspirations of being innovative as the best version of ourselves.
Like you don't want to tamp down on innovation, but you want to reinforce. Because I liked the idea and the feeling of let's reinforce and set foundations, reset,
so that we can be the innovative best version of ourselves. Let's tighten up that language in there that says we can only be the explorer, right? Mm-hmm. The best version of ourselves when we are able to be good at the boiling water stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. It's a great note, Sally. Thank you. Yeah, let's co-author this thing. What else you got? Anything?
This just took me a minute to digest because I was so used to the way it was kind of laid out differently.
Sorry, I pivoted on you guys.
It's not a bad thing. I see a lot of value strict to our mission. Like it makes sense. But I think it's just taking me a while to digest it from that
Sure.
perspective
Yeah,
and
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that like it feel like everything's taking in time. You made an interesting statement about field lessons because I was going to talk about it when we talk about field lessons aren't obviously always leading as global citizens, but I do think that when you say in what we demonstrate what's possible in our first commitment by saying that we choose to engage in tangible, possibly transformative practices within our campuses, our city, and our global educational community, I think you're almost implying field lessons without explicitly saying field lessons. And then when you also say we expand opportunities by offering a broad course of study under Lead as Global Citizens by designed to help students explore our place.
Yeah.
We're covering all of those because each field lesson has a different purpose.
But you've also got
scientific. It could be like it's just completely well rounded, and I don't think it needs to.
I think the field lessons and the continuum of experiences from kindergarten through 12th grade, that continuum, definitely are an expression of that piece. But I mean, the kids who are involved in the NASA Hunch project, who are going to be flying to Houston, like, that's not a field. Yeah. How did we not put down those slides?
I
What
saw
is
your
wrong
hat,
with
but
me?
I don't want to assume things.
Oh my gosh. So yes. Oh my gosh. How is that not a slide? It was on my coffee talk slide. I didn't put on this slide. Yes. Not the culinary students, but the students who developed a 3D printed chessboard that can be played in outer space. They won that design competition, and so they're flying to Houston and competing. And should they win, that chessboard designed by Westlake Charter High School students will go up into space, which would be so epic. So yeah. Tangent and very important. But yes, I guess helping to codify these aspirational statements in part comes out to one of the actions that we talk about, and that is the Tier 1, I think it's Action 6, Tier 1 blueprinting, these Tier 1 guaranteed academic and SEL promises. What is the continuum of experiences you will get across this K-12 thing? You're going to go to the Mother Lode or some version of it in 4th grade. You're going to go to Sierra Outdoor Schools with Sally in 6th grade. And when you get to high school, you might have a chance to, compete in a NASA thing or some version of such. Yeah. But I think you're right. Field lessons has to, it is a real part of what we do.
Yeah, and I think being careful not to be so strict on the language of just the terminology of field lesson, and making sure we allow for, I don't want to call them vague statements, but rather general statements that can cover many of our activities, whether that be a ship. Let's say one year Sally's like, I don't want to do field lessons. I'd rather us use all that money and build rockets. I'm totally making this up, but
You should build rockets.
you know,
that'd be rad.
the idea is for her as a
But
teacher to decide.
It is the pillar of expanded opportunities, right? I mean, our 4 pillars, one of them is these expanding opportunities. And we used to say it meant art, Spanish, and PE. But now it means it means sports as much. Career day. And
I go back to, it's not called Gold Rush Day, but 4th grade, right? Where we Pioneer Day. We used to travel to do that day, right? But for various reasons, we ended up shifting and bringing it onto campus. And it's not that it's not any better or any less valuable. And in fact, it's an amazing experience. But I want to make sure there's room for us to innovate for those experiences that aren't necessarily, to your point, of going somewhere.
So I'm hearing that it's important to the board that we capture and codify that is our commitment to expanded opportunities that also touch that global, I'm going to say global awareness. What is our global perspective? There's the core value. Okay. Well, we'll make sure we articulate that.
I think you already have it articulated.
The Goal 5 commitment 1, I think.
Okay.
I think it is articulated. I think I wanted to address your earlier statement of should field lessons be here.
Got it.
I don't think so.
Got it.
That's also keeping us at the 40,000 foot level. It's you all are making that decision, but you know that we value expanded opportunities.
It's good.
I thought the African proverb was really interesting. That was the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. We grappled with, we left it up to you. we put it in and thought, if somebody wants to cut it, now's your chance. Like literally, that's what I
You
said out
can't
loud.
cut it. Like some of the things are things that you say to us
Yeah.
as staff, and they're like, they have history over the years we've been here. Like when John says this, it means that we all do
Yeah,
this. So that's
there is some
special.
inside baseball throughout this whole thing. There is these little things that we share as staff that you may not be aware of before, but that African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far. And I think the first time I said that, we were all on screens in separate locations because we had closed the school. And we talked about like it's a long road from here to where we're going, but we will go there together. And that really defined how we got through COVID together. Yeah.
Do you have the word rubber band in here?
So that's
It's
what,
not in
oh my
there.
God,
It's not
you and I are in sync. Because whenever I get stressed or I feel too stretched, I have a
Okay.
rubber band with me at
Okay.
all times because I have to stay.
Yeah, we should put it in.
Don't
We'll put
want
it.
it to snap. But no, I carry a rubber
Yeah.
band for that reason.
And I do speak about the rubber band theory at most school openings. So there are, I would say most staff, certificated staff anyway, are able to reference the current reality desired state and the rubber band stretches in between. So yeah, you could, and it is part of the culture of this school to be resilient and forward thinking, but also have the acknowledgement that like I stretch my own rubber band, and if I'm stretched, everyone goes, "We see you. That's as far as you can go." Because some people can do this, and some years this is all you got in you. Yeah. Okay. I'd let her riff a little rubber band into the. Thanks,
Well, I
Sally.
think it's important, and it goes, I think, to your concept too. Like, I like the aspirational pages versus the breakout, because you know what keeps your rubber band from snapping is not trying to achieve all the aspirations at once. And
Yeah.
so you've had to moderate it out or spread it out so that it doesn't break the organization either financially or culturally or just time, right?
Yeah.
To do it all at once, you have to make the tough choices on what pieces we take on when.
We're gonna go from this section into the measurement section, and I want to talk to outcomes and measurements because, as I recall, at a previous board meeting, we wanted to make sure that outcomes were potentially quantitative. I left the outcomes somewhat inspirational, but used the measurements now to bring you that quantitative reality so you can measure. How did we land on the measurements?
Can I go back just real fast?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I moved
no,
forward.
you're good. I mean, so as we've just asked in a previous meeting, I liked the feeling aspects of the old plan. The inclusion of the proverb helps me not miss the testimonials.
Well, funny thing you say about the testimonials. We've come up with a way. We may be able to surprise you later. We'll just leave it at that. We're coming up with a little QR code pop out. We got this little video scheme that we're working on. Maybe some testimonial pages. So you might still get it.
But the inclusion of that though makes me still feel somehow seen in the document in a way that doesn't include all the does that make like
Sure.
Yes. And even, the pop-ups and whatnot still didn't get at my wanting to see it in here. It requires clicks. So by putting the proverb in though, or those other hidden things, it still makes me feel like it's us.
It's us. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to backtrack it.
No, it's good. It's good.
I just wanted to call out that I did notice that.
While we're still on goals, I'm sorry. Now I'm taking us back. I just want to be clear that in here we have defined academic growth. That we've defined academic readiness as our school will be celebrated for ensuring that academic growth is personalized for every student. What that goal is saying is that we are talking about growth versus excellence. And I just want to make sure the board has an opportunity to not miss that if you were thinking we should go a different direction. Okay, cool. Let's talk measurements and we can go home tonight.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Yeah.
On the beliefs and values, bullet point 4, we believe grading practices must reflect student, academic, and standards aligned achievement only.
Yeah.
Not sure I follow.
Yeah, so it's inside baseball. Sorry about that. We have a academic grading policy that says you cannot grade somebody on their behavior and their attendance. So if you don't have enough information of whether or not that kid learned, you can't give him an F for not being here because it might have been up to his mom whether he was not here. So we will only grade based on mastery.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And wasn't that part of the, sorry, Kate, like around homework, the because
Yeah, that was a part of
homework
rethink.
fits sort of in there too.
Yeah. Good. In rethinking grading, homework becomes a behavior, not a measure of mastery. Yeah. Katie?
Before we move to measurements, I just had a couple of notes from
Yeah.
goal 4. I'm wondering if there's a portion of this anywhere where it like lists out the core values, which is like so basic, but like
In the
having
previous,
them
they
list-
were an addendum, so I just assumed. But yes, they will be part of the strategic plan.
Okay.
And so, so will the pillars.
Got it.
They were this part of like a addendum in our previous plan.
Okay. For commitments, our staff consults with curriculum experts in determining best practices. What does this mean?
Well, I mean, I don't think that we do anything in isolation. That we're not making up. We're not making up the resources that we utilize. We utilize GLAD. We utilize a phonics program right now. We have a math program right now. We bring in just specialized training.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't.
I
Like
guess I
Everson-
want it to say like experts, not curriculum experts.
Okay, I can take that. I can definitely.
That makes it.
No, I think I'm okay with that. I think, when I think about us designing professional learning around UDL, I'm like, well, we didn't invent UDL, but we dig it. We're in it, and we think we got that from experts like Katie Novak. But yeah, you're right. It's not curriculum. It's educational experts, experts in the. I'll riff on it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're right. I think when I think of, I used to have a professor at my doctorate program who said, curriculum es todo. It's everything. Curriculum is the way I present myself in class, the way I show up, what I wear, the way we talk to one another. That's all part of the curriculum. So I think I use that a little, that curriculum
Even like
is,
educational experts.
Yeah. Maybe it's even, because maybe what we're saying there is we're consulting the literature. We're not just winging it.
We're relying on sources that are like verified or
Yeah, I was kind of leaning away from teacher pay teacher kind of stuff and saying like, no, we're using like valid,
research based.
research based, evidence based. Let me riff on it. Even if I just took out the word curriculum, and say, hey, experts in the field. Yeah, I like that.
And
Because
just because, like, I was thinking of the behavior experts, right? Those are experts who are coming on who are going to address systems, and so people might
Yes.
not think behavior, and if they see curriculum, and really you're bringing in like the experts in their field, so
Yeah.
making it broader seems
Yeah,
to
totally.
fit.
Yeah. Alright.
My other piece on this page was, I think that aspirational was throughout, but it had me like perplexed for a little while about like most innovative and inclusive. But I get the vision. It's a vision casting. The last bullet point for commitments talks about advisory teachers serving as a guide, and I think it could also include like K-5 teachers and advisory teachers.
Are you on, which bullet are you on?
It's the last commitment.
Our teachers use morning
Because
meeting advisory.
Middle school and high school.
Oh,
have
I see what
advisory
you're saying.
teachers, but like also K-5 teachers serve as their first point of
Yeah,
contact.
totally. It's so funny because I felt like we leaned so heavily initially on K-5. I was trying to add something for them, but you're right. By adding something for them, I took something away from you. Yeah, good catch. Yeah. Advisory and homeroom, classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it specifically calls out middle and high school grades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get something inclusive there. It says, hey, K-5 teachers clearly act as the primary contact for the school community collaboration for sure. Okay.
That's all I got.
But I got one.
Yeah.
Goal 5. I'm only bringing this up because of the environment we're in, but we referenced PEI.
Yep.
Goal 5 in the second bullet point. With the current political, environment we're in, is that something that might get us in sort of hot water down the line?
That's really a board conversation you guys are going to have and direct me on. I mean, I can defend the curriculum conversation and the pieces like that, but this particular issue's been in our board practices, policies, and procedures. And if you're as a board, you'd like to pivot away from that, you're going to have to kind of push on me. If you're asking me if the current reality is that there might be pushback for having potentially transformative practices, 100%. It is very possible that one of us ends up on the news having to defend that statement. So I will do that because I work for you. But if that's not what you want me on the news talking about, that it really is your conversation. And I'm not trying to dodge it. I'm just trying to say on YouTube, like, this is our moment. That's why we're in this room.
And sorry, I just want to add that this is like John said, this is carryover language from the existing strategic plan.
Right.
And at the time of adopting it, even last time, there was a similar concern. And so we had been careful with our phraseology and what our program was actually committing to then. That doesn't mean we can't change it now. I just wanted to acknowledge the historical course of how we got to it.
I strongly believe that our mission is to serve and create students that are global in nature. So I support equity, diversion, inclusion, and cultural competencies, but that's my personal opinion on this board. So I just wanted to say that. But I think keeping it there and being able to stand up for what we want to serve in our community is a big testament to the school.
I wouldn't feel comfortable changing it because so many things that we do at our school rest on the foundation of providing equitable access, acknowledging the diversity of our families. Inclusion is mentioned all throughout everything that we do. So I hear what you're saying, Satvir, and I understand why, but I don't think Westlake Charter School should water down or change or any of that language.
And we did switch it to EDI. You see that? I'm telling you, no one's going to catch on, brother. Yeah.
We were so mindful about it too. I mean, it's a really
what's this?
talked about it.
Well, now we're going to go now. It's a good question. It's a good question. It's worth it. Yeah, and it is because you're trying to protect the organization from like somebody who might want to come in and say that's not appropriate in school. And it's funny, our WASC document, which is a template that is provided for all the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, there's a section that says diversity, equity, inclusion. And we're like, well, they're still using it. We can use it. Yeah, and it is interesting because I say, well, are you going to stop talking about diversity in the Thomas? Right, we're the third most diverse zip code in the nation, and I think it's our greatest strength. So, okay, probably going to keep that one. Then you're like, inclusion. Well, we're pretty inclusive. We're going to keep that one. Cultural competencies, we talked to you. I mean, it's what we talk about. And so you're talking about equity. And when someone comes with, the reason not to say that, we'll talk about it.
Well, and part of the reason why we added cultural competency was to explain why we were doing the first three. Right, like it was all meant to sort of package together the why that we were making the commitment.
Yeah, yeah, good talk. Thanks for talking. I appreciate you guys. Are the measurements enough? Are they too much? Are they properly aligned to the outcomes?
They're definitely measurable. Sorry.
I had a thought. I don't know whether it's something that we could or should do, but a lot of these outcomes that we're trying to measure have to do with reputation, and reputation is being measured in various ways, but a lot of it has to do with family surveys and lottery data and stuff like that. I was wondering if there was a place in like the application for the lottery for a little bit of survey data, like, hey, why are you applying to Westlake? And that would get us data from more people than just the people who are here. We don't want to make it a million questions long and people will not want to do it. And
yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. It might increase our sample size.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. It's still a closed group. But the people who applied, it could fill out an application. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
My only drawback to that would be, say, Raleigh got picked and her reason was because it's closest to my house. And I felt like this 3-paragraph long answer and I don't get picked.
We'll make it part of the preferences. Good answers get it. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're right. Yeah, I also, real talk, I mean, just as the from the researcher side, the data collector side, that is 1,500 qualitative answers that I'm gonna have to read. I'm like, not super interested. If it was quantitative, if they could check a box, I'd be like, oh, 32% of the people said close to my house. But then you're gonna have to ask a lot of questions. I mean, I like the idea. A little part of the overwhelming nature of what we've just decided was like, oh, we're gonna have a lot of new reporting mechanisms. Some of them we already do, first interim, things like that. I like it. Let's debate on whether or not reputation can be identified by current constituents. Does it matter what the current constituents think about our reputation? I think it does. But you're also trying to get after people who aren't already influenced by the insiderness of it. Why? What do we want to know? A reputation for these things, we said. Reputation for excellence, innovation, inclusion, safety, and joyful learning.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what you're asking. Like, why would I want a larger sample size, or why would I want to look
The outsider
at the
perspective.
outsider?
Yeah. Because we're talking about reputation.
I guess, yeah. Maybe it's the word. Maybe reputation, the way I read reputation, means external, whereas there would be a different word if you were using it internally, and maybe that's the word that we're looking for.
These outcomes come directly from our internal surveys where we said, why did you choose Westlake, and what do you think we should never change? And they said, I chose Westlake because, and it was based on that we called reputation.
Right, but they were outside when they learned that reputation. So I think that's what I'm trying, like, why did you
But
come
the
to
people
Westlake?
who are here now were
They're the ones who gave
also outside at some point.
Right. But like, do I, who have been here since 20 whatever, 11, I don't even know how long I've been here, do I know our reputation, or do I not know our reputation?
But you're
Because I'm
usually
in it.
passing the reputation. So when I see
that's
people
right.
asking questions about the school, they're not asking a stranger, what do you know about schools? They're asking people who have experienced it. And so, because that's what I see, is it's, oh, your kids go to Westlake, what do you think about it? And when they hear good things, or whatever, that's the reputation that they take.
Yeah, I guess
that
what
they
we're
accept.
asking, Sean's right though, what we're asking in this survey is, hey, what do you tell people about Westlake?
What do you tell people?
Which is our reputation.
It is.
You are creating our reputation. Hey, what do you tell people about Westlake? Do you say it's joyful learning, safe, and right?
My
And what
concern
Sean
about
wants is like, what are
what
people really
people
hearing
hear.
at the birthday party? Right? I just don't know how to get to those people. I
It's
like
really
the survey. I mean,
Because a lot of people, honestly, they just apply to
all the
every
charters.
school. That's just what people do in this.
Well, there is in our data, there's a very clear indicator of school flight, district flight. Like, why did you choose Westlake? Because I didn't want to go to. I applied to all the charters. I didn't want to go to the district school. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's almost like you're trying to get the why they stay.
This is literally the conversation that we had. We had the board here, and we went, why? And then it turned, remember, the whole thing, then it became about reputation.
Totally. There is this whole thing about reputation that got in this plan not by accident. I mean, there's a big, like, we've had a reputation for this thing that people thought were higher standards, and that came down to the uniform. Like, I love that kids wear uniform. Like, our constituents came here for this reputation. So I think this plan is trying to say you should continue to perpetuate a reputation that looks like this. How do I measure it? I still ask my neighbor, but I don't know. Like, ding dong.
My only thing about, I liked your idea a lot of getting other people's thoughts, but then I think about, this is what we measure internally, hearing voices outside our constituents. Would we change our actions based on those that are not part of our constituents, you know? So I guess I'm thinking about, let's think about, we get data on 1,000 people, only 100 of them are coming to our school. Do I really care what the 900 that are not part of the school? Am I really trying to address their needs, or am I trying to address the needs of my constituents? Maybe I'm thinking about it differently.
Yeah, but she's trying to measure this thing called reputation, and she's like the only people that really know that are out there, because it is a proxy. You're right. What I'm asking is, what do you say at the birthday party? And I'm using that as a proxy for reputation, because I can't get to the birthday party and ask them.
It's like next year, like hypothetically, this won't happen. We only end up with 50 under kindergarten wait list because our lottery applications have dropped so severely, right? And we don't know why. That might be an indicator of reputation, or it might be an indicator that young families can't move into our school district, right? So none of these can exist in like a solo vacuum. Like they're gonna have to be like trust but verified. And so I really do think that lottery applications is a great indicator. Yes, there's the flight, but there's also, like, if they're really hearing horrible things about us, would they apply in the first place?
That goes back to the measurements then. Around reputation, is it the measurements or is it the outcome? Meaning, do we not want to have these outcomes regarding reputation as a connected, inclusive community? Although that one I think you can measure internally. I think that one's internal. I'm looking for another reputation one. Help me. Well, it's the first one around reputation. I got 1.3, reputation for excellence, innovation, inclusion, safety, and joyful learning. But I think that's an internal reputation.
Yes.
I do. I just think that is like, do you think we're doing these things?
I think 2.1 is internal as well.
Connected, inclusive? Oh,
Yes.
100.
Academic excellence is
Yeah, that's what we
expressed.
were going for me because we use the word excellence.
Right, because that is a reputational thing that a lot of people said they came here for.
I know.
So we are about academic growth, but does that growth equal this thing that people perceive as excellence? So for us, excellence though is dashboard demonstrating high track metrics, which isn't about excellence,
I
it's
also
about growth.
think, well, this touches, for me, high school graduation, college, acceptances, and that kind of thing, where it comes to academic excellence versus growth, because they're not, I mean, they're growing, but away from here.
Yeah.
Does that have to say reputation? Could it just say, academic growth, like importance placed, emphasis placed on academic growth as measured through the dashboard?
Yeah, you want to get growth in there, acknowledgement of growth. I think that we're losing some of our constituents because they don't believe our program is excellent. I think they're wrong. But I think there is you serve kids who don't go to Cornell, and so, like there is a, in our strategic plan survey feedback, we asked a question that said, do you think we're a competitive academic program? And people were like, not so much, but I think you guys are the best. But I'm not here for that. And it was interesting because 10 years ago that wasn't true.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in reputation because I think it's a canary in the coal mine.
I go back to homework because there was a time when our it felt like excellence was going down because we weren't sending homework home, and they're not. It's hard to explain how that does or does not work in people's mind, but for me that was like one moment in time where I really felt like there was a marked ding to our excellence because there was this perception that we weren't pushing because we weren't sending
And it
work
still
home.
comes up.
Oh, it does. I know.
In,
I'm just
in the
trying
focus
to.
groups, there was people
Totally.
Yes.
about homework all the time.
Yeah.
With the new high school though, understanding graduation schools and acceptance rates, that's a big reputational, like, to hear, we have an Ivy, like, somebody that got accepted to an Ivy League this year versus last year, or there's a decline, and you see it, acceptances, there's various factors throughout, but like, I think that really does drive high school reputation, I'm not talking about eighth grade, but at least, or maybe even feeds into maybe middle school, but there does.
The kid who got into the Ivy League, he started here in kindergarten. So I think it does. Like I'm just saying, like we should shout. That should be part of our reputation. Is if you start here in kindergarten, look at the outcomes we're going to produce. But that, I guess, I don't know why I'm defending reputation, but I tell you guys, in that data, there is a clear sense that people came here for something, and I want to keep asking them, like, are you getting what you came for? Because if you're not, maybe we have to change a little bit to meet your needs, or be louder about what we don't do. I don't know. I just think it's interesting data.
I understand. I do understand why you're using it. I cannot come up with a better word for it. I think it's in some ways level setting the group. It's understanding that reputation is used for measuring different groups throughout. It's the same word used for measuring different things potentially throughout the document, but I think you can't avoid that.
Yeah, and maybe it's overused. Is that it may be people's issue? Like, it is in 4 of the 5 goal areas. Is it all 5?
Well, it was 5 times. I didn't look all the way to.
Yeah. Is it possible that it's just reputation is overused? You're like, well, maybe you just save it for 1 or 2 places.
Yeah.
I know Sean says I just want a better measurement. Yeah, I know.
But I was having a hard time coming up with a different word for it.
Like emphasis on, or I don't know, because I mean, I think because the way I was reading it is that it was being used to measure different things that weren't, like. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to bring it back to science, but like we're using reputation, and it's like meters and pascals and pound feet and milliliters, and like they're not all the same thing. So I don't. How do you measure different things using the same unit?
Science versus social science. Here we go. I love it. No, I'm with you. Yeah.
I
So,
think about it as reputation is also internal, because I have people come up and they're like, I've heard things are good at the middle school. What's your experience? Because they're hearing that. They're not experienced, their kids aren't get there yet. Or they ask about the high school because they've heard things. So I think I don't know, it's so complicated.
maybe you have to articulate your audience, a reputation amongst
You could have an internal
our
reputation.
families,
I think.
a reputation within our community.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want everybody to get bogged down on it.
It's a good bog.
It's my bugaboo.
Well, and it's in
So
here.
It's
you know.
we got 2
5
months.
minutes
We got 2 months. It's bog worthy. I mean, I think I'll go back to the drawing board and scratch a little bit, and maybe come back and say, hey, and if anybody wakes up at midnight and has a great idea, email it to me. Yeah, I'm open to like, either we've used it too many times in too many different ways, and sort of splintering your brain a little bit. I do think I don't know how to measure it, but I do think there is this acknowledgement that reputation for a school of choice matters. And that's why we look at lottery numbers every year and go, hey, look at that, we got 1,000 people on the wait list, and we go, okay, we must be doing. We think that this thing matters. It's hard to get. So as an expression of our desired state, we have a reputation for excellence. That's what that is. But the measurement of it is
It's
like
hard to measure.
it's how do you know what how do you measure reputation? I'll scratch on it.
And I think 3.1 is kind of a good example of like the bifurcation of it, right? Because you've got the dashboard, so the demonstration, you use demonstrating, right? That's half of it. But then we have to then measure almost how well we're communicating that to families to understand it through the family survey. So does that make sense? And so that's also hard. So like the reputation in many respects for me is more the family survey. Because that's how we're being perceived, and the dashboard demonstrates like that we're doing it. And so it's great if we make it, and it will matter 0 if we don't communicate it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And so that's sort of the challenge I'm having with reconciling the pieces.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun little project. I love it.
But I didn't also, in reviewing it, didn't have a great suggestion of how to change it.
It's okay. It gives me something to chew on now. I'll leave here and chew a little bit and spitball a little bit, and we'll bring it back around. It feels like we're close.
Definitely close.
Yeah. Katie?
I have a question about family survey and how much data, or like how many people are completing that?
I mean, the last one was better than the previous. I mean, I think we had a buck 20 something on the last one. We just closed out we almost brought it tonight, but we're like, let's keep the meeting short. Yeah, good job, us. Yeah,
we're not succeeding at that.
67.
That was more than first trimester.
Yeah. So, you're 65 to 120. In our strat plan survey at 300 and some odd, which was really big.
If that's the way that we're measuring a lot of these things, is it possible that like we push it a little bit more? I know it's in the Westlake Weekly, but I remember a couple years ago there was like signs on every door at conferences. There was Chromebook set up. There was just getting more data.
Yeah. We
It's probably the same 60 families.
Yeah.
We've done different cycles of that. I mean, I know one year when we were,
All you got-
many moons ago, we did that.
Yeah, but as a board member, all you gotta do is say, we want more data, and then we'll try to make more data. Yeah. I also think the survey has to change to meet these. Our current survey will not meet these goals. So yeah, I think what as these become reportable in a new way, I'm gonna need to hear the board say, hey, that looks good, but how many results? 65? Hey, can you and your staff try to get those results up, which will put pressure on us to go out and do the Chromebooks and the things on doors and things like that. Yeah, it's a good call.
I like the format.
Which-
This overall format of how you kind of identified the goals, beliefs, commitments, outcomes, and I just kind of want to.
You just arrived. You're like, I didn't get it at first. Now I like it.
Yeah.
I like it too.
It just flows more easily for me.
We grappled a little bit with like, as we get to actions, but we grappled a little bit with like, I think this page, this goal page, doesn't have any pictures on it. Not very pretty. Not very testimonies. Like, I think this thing may lay out as a flip book. So when I open up goal 1, I'm like, oh, goal 1. And so I've got more room to spread out, maybe get some pictures in there, maybe a little testimony in there. But what we grappled with was, do you need anything else on this page? Because at the bottom it's got this, which I missed later. I said, we believe the above actions. She's like, what above actions? Oh, the attached actions. My bad. The attached actions. Are you okay at this level with those things pointing to actions, but those actions are not on this page? Everybody's okay with that? Okay, cool. And similarly, we talk about these aspirational outcomes, and you're like, how the heck are you going to measure those? I'm like, 12 pages later, you'll see. We're okay with the measurements not being laid out here. Look at my science friend.
I would prefer the measurements closer to the goals, personally.
Yeah. I'm going to try a
I
couple layouts.
don't mind flipping for the actions because the actions relate to so many goals that there's no good place to put them.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, when I was going through and reading this, I kept going, well, how are you going to measure that? What's the measurement? And then I got to the measurements and I was like, oh, well, what
You have
goal
to
was
flip
that?
back
Then
and
I have to
forth.
go back again.
So I'm intrigued. I'm going to go play in layout Landia. It's going to either be super ugly or it won't be. And we'll see. And maybe we'll come up with, as we go into May, a couple of different looks and versions, and we go, oh, I kind of dig that, or no, I don't. Keep your measurements to yourself, and we'll find out. And I'm okay with looking at both.
Okay, well, on that note,
Oh, here we go. The fight begins.
I thought goal-aligned actions should be at the front.
Goal. Say it again. Oh, you thought goals,
I
the
thought-
action should be in the front.
Yeah, because then it frames,
Hear that?
because it's got the,
Hear that?
sorry.
Fight.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I didn't mean
Well,
to.
no,
I'm not
which
trying to
I had a
fight.
couple of readers. I got a couple of readers who said, because I had.
I don't wait till 15 to get to them.
I had actions in the front,
Yeah.
and when you put actions in the front, and the first thing you do is go, fix that problem, fix that problem, fix that problem, fix that problem, as opposed to opening up and going, our inspirational desired state is, and so it's just a different read
Actions
I
for
put
me
it
are
at
very
page, just for the
overwhelming.
record, I wouldn't put it till page,
after the vision or
until page 6. It'd be page 6.
after goal 2.
Oh, well, no, well, I can't tell. I'm too far away. I can't see anymore.
After the
You know how after the vision.
Yeah, but again, you're before you get to our desired state, you're talking about the rubber band. I'm going to stretch.
So that's, yeah.
Where am I going?
I get
Because
it.
then
Yeah.
it's just like, oh my gosh, we have to do all these things?
However, in her defense,
Yeah, I know.
from a teacher perspective, you open up and go, darn straight, let's fix some behavior.
And that makes
Let's some things. You know, there's a teacher read in me that goes, I want to see that you heard me, and I think this is the community being heard.
I'm gonna go back to the culture code for this comment. For me, like John, you're saying a lot of this is the board's gonna have to let it go and let it be the work of staff. Sure, that's true. What's not true though is that we have to commit to these things being important as we make decisions for the institution, right? We can't tell you to go and like create a system for positive behavior, but then not give you the tool or spend money to have the tools available that you would need to do it. Like so, like yes, it's not boots on the ground. It's like a larger commitment to make sure that we support the organization in setting out to achieve these goals.
Yeah.
While I see how the goal actions would really drive kind of like the blueprint, I will say if we're looking at something that's going to be sounds motivating or inspiring, hearing all these actions before I even know what my beliefs are, what my commitments are. But I do agree with Sean in that I was going back and forth between the measurements. I didn't even think of that. I was like, well, yeah, I was doing that.
There's also a piece of these that all become different assets. Because while we maybe will publish this as a singular document, I can see the actions document being something that we as staff are more utilizing away from the strat plan. And these 5 goals, I'm thinking stickers and buttons.
I want a little button for each. So my goal, I want a button for each of the circles that go with each of the goals. And then the sticker has all 5 in like a Trivial Pursuit tie.
Yeah, I love it.
Because the one he has a sample picture I sent. So yeah, I had a campaign. We opened this discussion with that.
But it is interesting as a whole document. And once we attach core values and pillars, and then all of our assumptions that get like this thing gets pretty thick. So if you want them usable, you're gonna be probably creating like mini versions, infographics. We're gonna kind of break it out a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So let's just before we go. We had a nice discussion on goals, beliefs, values, commitments, and outcomes. We got a nice discussion on measurements. Thank you. Any thoughts on actions? Any missing ideas? I know I asked this last month, you already answered, but like, this is it. We're at 12 actions. Do I hear 13? No, I'm just kidding.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Baker's does.
And like from a board level perspective, right? Are there any of these actions that you don't feel like we should or could support as a board, or things that you would need to better spell out to support?
Can I ask, I noticed one, create systematic ways to tell our story.
Yeah, that's what they ever said.
I had to
And
ask,
you see how nicely that ties to reputation? Because I really believe that there are so many amazing attributes of this school that even the 3rd grade family doesn't know about 7th grade. And the 7th grade family doesn't know about 11th grade. And the person outside the fence doesn't know about inside the fence. And even the 3rd grade teacher might not know what the 8th grade. Like, there are so many amazing little, when we do celebrations, sometimes it's like, I mean, we forgot about NASA Hunch. There's so many good things. I think we need to get better about systematically telling our story. Are we doing quarterly press releases? Are we doing regular capturing, these great things that we do in a way that's not currently getting out? I think we need to be better about telling our story, because I think that reputation piece is, if people knew this place the way you know this place, or you know this place, the line should be around the block 15 times. And so I'm surprised when people say, I applied to all 3 charters because I'm just looking for a charter. I'm like, oh my gosh, we are not anything like the other place that you applied. And people don't know that because I don't think we tell our story well enough.
Or that they would assume we're all alike.
Yeah, they
because
assume.
we have charter in our name.
Right.
I just find it odd as a number 12 on our goal aligned actions. Not that
Yeah, these are not.
I'm
They're
just,
not ranked in
These
order.
are not ranked in order. That's a good. That's a good note.
I
We should.
just-
We should. We should. I want to be able to refer to these without numbers, because otherwise you start to go, hey, action number 7,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden it's less important than number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And if you got thoughts on that, I'll take them. Sally.
When I got here 10 years ago, we were constantly putting out pictures of our classrooms or snippets of our classrooms on social
Twitter,
media.
remember we were like,
We were Twitter crazy.
we were so prolific.
And we were going to conferences all the time, and like we're Westlake Charter, and people are like, oh, Westlake.
Oh, Westlake, we've heard about you guys. I
We
think we need.
hosted conferences.
I mean, your trip was like the first time I started. Was it Texas? No,
Austin.
Austin,
It was
yeah.
Austin. I was so close. It was the first time I felt that same feeling in
Yeah.
a long time that we were out there
Presenting
being
at a
an
conference.
incubator for education.
Feels good.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking for in this action is like how to get our teachers back on stage. How do you see the brand and go, oh yeah, I know about those guys. There's a thing there, right? We lived it. Yeah. So is it number 12 though? I don't know. Maybe it makes a full circle because if you look at number 1 as recruit, develop and retain, and number 12 on a circle they touch each other, 1 and 12, because the one speaks to the other for sure. Yeah, somebody figure out how to not number these things for me. Somebody come up with a cool way to make these not numer.
See, what Westlake's only 8. We can't go with like a.
Oh, and yeah, acrostic poem. Is that what it is? I'm feeling like visions of grandeur right now. I'm like, I know what an acrostic poem is. All right. Anything else about actions? Maybe we should. Yeah, let's think about other ways to number them. Any confusion on why WASC actions are included? No, you're okay? Yeah, they line up really well too. Okay, well, thank you for all the feedback. That was super useful. Next month, I'll bring back, some new stuff.
Just to reiterate again, the letter from you on page 3 was it gave me goosebumps when I read it. I feel like I want to show it to everyone I know, and I want every staff member to read it. I want every stakeholder to read it. It was really well put together, but some people don't know the story, and it was really well captured.
Yeah. Well, I could do 30 pages on it. I try to get it all in one.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. I had my wife read it. She goes, yeah, that's true. All right, we're wordsmithing and editing. We're formatting layout. We'll bring it back to the May board meeting for a final content review. If you are an editor, looking around, Sean Berman, looking around, Sean. If you are a person that wants a Google Doc version of it shared to you that you could use suggested edit on. Some people, I think somewhere in there we used institutional instead of the word organizational, and you're like, I don't like that word. If you want a word play, I'll give you a version, you can give it back, I'll compare your version to other versions, and we'll try to smush them together. So that's...
reputation. Should we?
Yeah.
Is anyone else hearing Taylor Swift?
I'm not sure what that means, exactly. Is that a song?
Oh, yes.
Is it really?
I'm even picturing the snake. I am full in the moment.
Yeah, it's the name of an album.
It's a whole album. It's a whole period of her life.
Sorry,
It's
Christina.
an era.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was there.
It's a whole era.
It's
It's not a song, but there is a song. But yeah.
All right. In June, we'll be seeking approval. If you would like, A-Dub,
It's in there.
I'm trying to think, maybe we'll send out an email that says if you want a copy, let us know, so the onus isn't on you. So we'll send out an email that says if you want a copy, say yes, then we'll get you a copy, and you can start editing. Back to the agenda.
Yes. One more check for public comment.
Oops. There we go.
Perfect. So since we have a closed session, we'll first go ahead and do reflection. What worked well? What would be better if? Sean, you're first.
I am. I have 2 things that work well.
I guess
Is that
so.
okay? It's rare for me. Normally I have to rack my brains.
We'll take
So
it all.
first of all, the compensation proposal. I appreciate everybody's thoughtful discussion and taking time to look at what we spent the time to do. what worked well for me for this meeting was often we agree, which is great. I liked the fact that there was a lot of discussion of disagreement. I think this. Well, I'm not really sure that I agree then, but it was all very respectful and people thoughtfully taking other people's views and riffing on them. I don't know. It was a really good discussion.
Yeah, plus one of that.
Oh, we went that way before, so Steve. Sorry.
I saw you said leaning in.
You weren't last time, were you? Oh, I went the wrong way. I thought we went to you first. I'm sorry. Go that way.
Because
you started.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Bookended
Go
by
ahead,
starters. Go ahead, go.
That's right.
Who cares about Steve Corbett? He's just staff. Go, no, just joking. Go.
Save the best for last.
Really enjoyed all the work that went into the compensation package. There was everything we needed, I think, and more to make a really well-informed decision. So it's just the amount of work and time is so greatly appreciated, and that worked very well for me to have it all in a spot where we could make a decision.
Hubba, what worked well? What were better if?
I appreciate hearing from Felix every time, and I don't mind the videos at all.
I like them.
They're succinct and they're informational, and I like the partnership.
Yeah, love it.
I appreciate getting the strat plan with the specific questions. Like I did my homework, I had my questions laid out.
Ready to go.
It was helpful.
It's good. AW playing? No. Keegas? Yeah, just for me the open dialogue. Like sometimes you guys are quiet, and I'm trying to feel like I'm like pushing, and tonight I was like. That was great for me. I loved the grappling around reputation, all of it. So yeah, thanks everybody. This was fun.
Mine's similar because there was, feedback after the last meeting that it might have been too long, maybe a little.
I didn't hear that, but you
didn't hear it. I may have heard it, and so we weren't sure. I mean, honestly, we weren't sure how to put the strat plan on the agenda and being mindful of last meeting's reflections, if that makes sense. So I really appreciate the fact that you had it and you worked with it, and it went as long as the board wanted, and it felt very organic. And so that worked well for me, right? We gave it the flexibility this time because we just weren't sure how to. We take into account your reflections and we try to bring it forward to meetings, and this one was hard to know how to maneuver. So thank you for participating.
Love it.
I just want to thank everyone that puts their time and effort. I mean, compensation, all the committees, but really starting with the fact that all these board briefs have like a succinct memo really helps me kind of be like, what do I understand or what do I not understand? And I can come more prepared with questions, similar to what Katie said. So for me, I know the amount of work you guys probably did in compensation, really trying to make sure I understand and make informative decisions. Those briefs are super helpful at being able to have that ahead of time. And I really love paper copies, so I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah.
Zephyr?
Yeah, going back to what Hope said, I thought the number of slides we had today were perfect, and it was great flow throughout, right? I mean, that's just the flow of the meeting was just awesome today.
I hope you hear that, it's okay.
And the compensation review, great job by the committee, by the way.
Suzanne?
Yeah, I felt that it worked well. The things that you give us, but what you still highlight helps everyone understand the things that maybe were like, what is that? What exactly are you talking about? So thank you for clarifying.
It's good.
Yeah, the work on the strategic plan, we think it's coming together a certain way that kind of pivots and it comes together another way. So it's been a lot of work, and a shout out to Dr. Galloway as well. And she's got a lot of work behind the scenes on it. So yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, but it's coming together. It's looking good.
It's good.
So I won't be here next month. So all y'all need to be really nice to Sean as she leads this meeting, okay? So please. With that, we'll go into closed session. We have conference with legal counsel regarding 3 cases of existing litigation. I don't anticipate a report out. So we will adjourn now and note the time of final adjournment in the minutes.
Okay. Good night, Paul Jacob.
That's yours. No.
See you, buddy.
So I'm guessing